a break!
Welcome back. I am Jason Wiersema. This is Tankers Fantasy Football, and oh baby, it was a sexy deluxe week one out there. Oh baby, it was so good to have red zone and football back in our lives out there, boys. We got to get it cracking though, you know, no time to waste. We got to get those waivers in for week two. There's some pretty good ads out there this week. We're not going to really go in any sort of order out here. Just kind of be a mixed bag. I'm just grabbing dudes. I'm throwing a matchup. Maybe they're available in your league. And we'll talk about what kind of percentages of your fab you should possibly be putting down on these players. All right, we're going to lead it off with some Paris Campbell. He's like 26% owned in leagues. He went 6 for 71 on 9 targets. And, you know, he might be Rivers' new Keenan Allen out there. Rivers was throwing it to Paris Campbell, and Rivers was throwing it to running backs. And that's kind of what was going on. He used to be a Charger. Rivers would throw it to running backs. He led the league in running back targets last season, and Rivers will throw it to Keenan Allen. And also Paris Campbell has the Vikings this week. We all saw what happened with the Vikings secondary. Monte Adams went out there and went 40 PPR. Lazard got like 18 PPR, and Scantling, I think, even went out there and got you like 20 PPR. So the Viking secondary is ripe for the pickings of Paris Campbell is out there in your waiver wire. I'd feel comfortable putting about 15% of your fab on Paris Campbell. All right, we're going to move it down to some Malcolm Brown. He's about 17% owned in leagues. I got him in the 17th round of a 20-round, 12-team FFPC draft a couple weeks ago. Feeling pretty good about it as we stand. Not really sure if I'm going to start him yet. But depending on what happens with some of my injuries and matchups, we might have to run him out there. He had 18 for 79 yards, like 4.4 carry. He had 3 receptions for 31 yards. He had the 2 rushing touchdowns. He was in there in the premium situations on third downs and on goal line work. And I like me some Cam Akers, but Malcolm Brown looked like the better back last night. He really did. I mean, you know, Malcolm Brown's a good pass blocker. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this workload continues for the next few weeks at least out there. So I'd be willing to go out there and once again maybe put 15, maybe you're really running back hurting out there, I might reach it up to that 25% out there of your fab. All right, we got some Joshua Kelly went out there, got more work than I thought he would. Appears to possibly be the goal line back for the Chargers out there. Got 12 carries, got to 60 yards, got the touchdown out there. I know it doesn't sound like Tyrod Taylor is going to start throwing it to these running backs much more than he did this last week. That's bad news for Austin Eckler. But if you're hurting on running backs, as a lot of us are out there in the fantasy realms, Joshua Kelly is definitely worth look for you. I'd probably get him out there. Probably still get him out there in 10, 12-team leagues, you know. I give him 10 to 15% out there. All right, we got some Naheem Heinz. First half was all Marlon Mack and Naheem Heinz, and us Jonathan Taylor owners were out there hating our lives, boys. But then Marlon Mack blew his Achilles, and now it looks like it's going to be the Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Heinz show. But I'm not ready to discredit Heinz in any shape or form. He had the 8 catches, the 45 yards, the miraculous 2 touchdowns in that first half, and he had 7 carries for 28 yards. I think we're going to get a decent timeshare of Jonathan Taylor. They're not just going to hand the keys over to Taylor. I think we're going to be at least looking at a 50-50 timeshare, unless for some reason these Colts, who just lost to the Jaguars, by the way, can somehow get a strong second-half lead. I think we're going to see a lot of Heinz. Heinz was involved in the red zone quite a bit. He's only 27% owned. I'm almost willing to go full Toucan Sam on this Heinz situation and go about 25-30% of your fab, especially if you are in full PPR leagues out there. All right. Moving on to some Benny Snell. He's 13% owned. He went out there and got 19 carries for 133 yards. Had 1 target. Didn't catch the ball. James Conner's banged up, as James Conner often likes to do. So, I mean, even before James Conner went down, I was texting my boys out there that I think Benny Snell is looking a lot more spry than James Conner anyway. So I wouldn't be so careful. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised we get the fucking word out there. All right, I wouldn't be surprised if Benny Snell straight up just takes over this backfield at some point this season, injury or no injury. So this is the type of guy that I'd be willing to probably put 20 to 30% of my fab on as well, if available in your league. All right, we got some Nicki O'hare for 5 for 40. Almost got in the end zone, but he did that the patented Austin Severian Jenkins roll through the end zone for the turnover out there. But, I'm not really to blow my load on any Nicki O'hare action. I think the Patriots only attempted, 19 passes on the day or something garbage like that out there. So I think I'm in, Nicki O'hare limited to the 10% of your fab. All right, we got some Chenault out there. Didn't do all that too much. Didn't get all that too sexy. Minshew only threw for 173 yards, but he did get in the end zone. Was looking pretty spry. Might be a bye-week flex play option for you in deeper formats. Go out there, probably get him for 5, 10. Maybe there's a lover out there at 15%, but I don't think you would go much higher than 10. All right. Got some Frank Gore and Josh Adams for the Jets. If Le'Veon Bell does miss time, I think I'd lean more on the Josh Adams if you're looking for the ceiling play out there, but I don't know. The Jets kind of like a fucking dumpster fire anyway, so I'm not really. 5-10% fab on these fuck boys. Not much more than that. Keenan Cole, my bad, went out there, led the Jags in receiving, and I don't know. I think this might just be illusion of grandeur. Might just go ahead and leave Keenan Cole on your waiver wire. O.J. Howard, tight end. Gronk didn't really do that much. Tom Brady kind of looked a little iffy out there, but maybe Tom will go back to leaning on his tight ends like he used to. That could up O.J. Howard a little bit. He did get in the end zone this past Sunday, so who knows, O.J. Howard could finish as a back-end tight end one. He could just do that. So if he's still out on waiver wire, I'd be willing to throw 10% on the O.J. Howard. All right, Peyton Barber got 2 touchdowns. We look a little deeper. You're watching the Red Zone channel. You're like, oh, Peyton Barber had himself a day. Then you look at it and you look at 17 carries for 29 yards, and you're like, that's the Peyton Barber I remember, boys. So you're all, I say leave it. Let some other joker out there dump 15% of their fab on Peyton Barber. Right? Leave him for the Mooks, baby. All right, leave him for the Mooks. All right, got some Myles Gaskin, deeper league play. Went out there, probably looked the best of any Dolphins running back. Not saying much about that situation, but deeper league play, kind of getting some Myles Gaskin out there. We got some defenses for next week. We got Rams versus the Eagles, and for some reason, one of my leagues, the Rams is somehow available. So I know they're like 70% owned, but if somehow the Rams are still out there in your league, go out there and get them. They got the Eagles. The Eagles give up, 8 sacks to the football team on Sunday. So all in on Aaron Donald, ravaging some Carson Wentz this next week. All right, Packers versus the Lions. I think Packers can get a lead and force their hand on the Lions up in Lambeau, get some turnovers, get some sacks out of that. All right, Marquise Valdez Scantling, kind of threw him at the end, kind of talked about him a little bit earlier. I would probably let somebody else put the fab on Marquise Valdez Scantling. I'm an Allen Lazard fan. If he is available, I would rather bid on the Lazard. All right, boys. If you like me, if you're feeling me, if you're down with the tankers, we just need to get those likes popping, boys. We need to get those likes popping. We need to get those comments up. You got any waiver wire questions, you got any start sit questions, you got any trade questions, put all that smoke down in the comment section below. I will get back to you. I always do. All right, get those likes up. You're not a subscriber, go ahead and please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for all tankers notification. I know I've been sleeping, boys, but I'm trying to get it back from the depths here. I've just been so down on the world, its current situation. But watching football on Sunday has rejuvenated your boy. So I will be pumping out some vids. All right, holler at me.
I'm hot as fuck, bitch.